Hello, 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 and welcome to today's show on creative business success. Today we are talking about how to generate leads fast. Now, this is absolutely critical. I have had several conversations in the last few days about this topic with clients and with some friends, and it's something that's absolutely critical, and there's a real myth around this that I absolutely want to dispel, and I'm going to show you a strategy. We're going to look at some different ways of generating leads, and I'm going to talk to you about the one that's going to help you to generate leads quickly. So if you're in a situation that you're in a bit of a slump and you need to get some more clients on quickly, then this is the best way to do it, okay? All right, so what's the myth? The myth is that leads are free, okay? So I think people think that unless they're like paying for advertising, that leads are free. They're not free. They either take your time or your money, okay? And sometimes both. But this is part of the thing that you've got to acknowledge, that if you're running a business, you have got to, understand that generating leads is the lifeblood of your business. In fact, it's more than that. It is the oxygen. Can you imagine trying to have any kind of blood flow or any parts of your bodies working effectively if you didn't have oxygen? Just hold your breath for 5 minutes and see how long you last. It's not going to work, is it? So, the thing is that you have to have a steady stream, ideally, of your ideal leads coming into your business. Now, I've talked about ideal leads and other specific strategies in other videos and blog posts, and I will pop some links in here afterwards for that. And I also have a free resource that will be really helpful in relation to this too. But before I do that, I just really want to make sure that you're getting the kind of mindset part of this straight, because it's like you may know that I'm an actor. In fact, just for those of you who don't know me, my name is Una Doyle. I'm the founder of Rewind. I'm Una Doyle, the founder of Creative Flow TV and a business coach for creatives, and I specialize in helping them to grow profitable businesses that allow them to be happy, healthy and wealthy, and to be able to achieve the creative flow and to have work that they're really, really proud of, because I know as creatives that is what we all want. I'm also an actor, and it reminds me of being so many actors, they hate the audition process. And in fact, just in acting class the other night, our teacher was telling us about a friend of his who was going to pack it all in. And he started talking to him about, well, what have you been doing to promote your career? When is the last time you reached out to a casting director or a producer or anybody? And it had been January. This is July. So they'd gone 5-6 months doing nothing to kind of make their acting career work. Well, it's exactly the same for you. And I don't want to hear, oh, I'm not a business person. Okay, I'm sorry, but if you are going out there, if you don't have a job, if you are expecting people to buy stuff from you, you have a business. That makes you an entrepreneur, okay? It makes you a business owner. Whether you're a freelancer and, and strictly speaking, a freelancer is somebody who's selling to agencies, who's working on other people's clients. Okay, then you still have clients, but they're usually a smaller number, and they're the ones who go out and do the selling to the direct customer. But many people describe themselves as a freelancer when they just mean they haven't got any employees and it's them, but they are selling to the end user. So the thing is that you've got to understand that in the way for us marketing ourselves and doing auditions is the job of being an actor. And the really fun part comes when we get to do an acting job. It's exactly the same for you. And in fact, I was actually looking up, I quite often look up, well, what are some quotes around the topic that I'm talking about? And I couldn't really find any good ones on lead generation, so I made one up. And here it is. Lead generation is not a goal, it's a process. Lead generation is not a goal, it's a process. It's something that you have got to be doing day in, day out, week in, week out, for as long as you want to be doing this. And in the way that for some people who love acting, but actually realise they don't love the business of acting, maybe they decide to do it as a hobby, or maybe they decide to have some sort of, job that allows them to just do it in their free time. it's exactly the same for you. You've got to understand that lead generation is a core part of you running your business. Now, obviously, I want you to be in flow even when you're doing that. Okay, so generally speaking, choosing the lead generation activities that suit your natural strengths is the way to go. But sometimes you don't have time to get into that. Sometimes you need to get something now. Okay, and we're going to talk about that in a moment. But first, I just want to look at, some of the well-known lead generation strategies out there. So we got word of mouth and referrals. Okay, this is by far and away the most common way that when clients first come to me that they're getting their their clients from. So social media, public speaking, doing advertising. That could be online ads like Facebook or on LinkedIn, Google, PPC. It could be offline. Maybe there's specific trade publications that you might be in. Maybe you do local marketing, okay, if you have a local service. Blogging and guest posting, video marketing. Obviously with live video that's becoming more and more, excuse me, I think I have one of my hairs caught around my nose and it's itching me. Networking. Okay, again, that is a very common one for people to do. Now, I've got cold calling and cold emailing. Generally speaking, the people who come to me don't tend to be doing this. It can be a good strategy when it's done in the right way, but it usually needs to be part of a bigger plan. Okay, and then there's exhibitions and events. Okay, so you've got 10 different types of ways of getting in front of your ideal customer there. But there's a problem with these in that they are very medium and even long term. Okay, if you start blogging and whatever kind of content marketing that you're doing, it can take you a good 6-12 months. I've not even mentioned SEO, but obviously that's kind of tied into the content marketing I was talking about in terms of blogging and video marketing. But it takes a while for those leads to start coming in on a regular basis. So I'm not saying don't do these things. But what I am saying is, do not have the expectation you're going to start doing them and get clients next week, because it might not happen that way. Okay, particularly when you look on social media, generally speaking, any post you do on social media, they're not seen by very many people unless you have built up a massive following. And even then, a lot of the time, there will come a point when you have to pay to play and you're going to have to advertise to those people. Okay, and that's a whole different strategy and a whole other way of doing that. So what do you do? Because, the thing is, when you're looking at, your website and blogging and your social media and videos and all of these things, there's a real possibility that you might get stuck in this kind of perfectionist zone, which is actually just another way of procrastinating. And quite often, procrastination is because you want to step away from rejection. So what I'm calling for you to do is to be resilient. Be a resilient creative, because it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're going to have ups and downs and you have to be able to deal with those. I know, I'm having a bit of a rant today. I'm doing it because I'm passionate. I do not want you to be giving up. I do not want you to be struggling. I want you to understand that rejection is part of the process. And there may well be times when people, almost become a client or even become a client and back out. Look, it happens to me too. It's not always, fairies and, stardust and everything's absolutely wonderful. That's the way most people position themselves on social media. But don't be fooled by that. Behind the scenes, every business is facing challenges and is working to overcome them, and yours will be no different. Okay, so what do you do instead? Well, what I would suggest is that you, and this works for me, and this works for my clients when they start doing it as well, is that you directly reach out to your ideal clients. Now, you might do this on, you might do it by email. My suggestion would be to do it through, your best, your favorite social platform. So whether, and the one that your ideal clients are most likely to be on and where you're able to identify them. So LinkedIn is a favorite, particularly for business to business type of creative services. But it might be Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, whatever it is that suits you. But you need to be able to actually, you know, reach out to them. And so I kind of have 5 C's that I think you need to be doing, okay? And I do have another blog post that goes more in depth into this about what you're saying and doing at each, you know, at each stage of this. So I'll pop a link for that after the live is finished as well. So number 1 is you first of all need to connect. The second thing you need to do is converse. Be a real person. Do not connect with somebody and instantly spam them with, hey, buy from me, I'm brilliant. Nobody wants to get that, okay? You probably hate it when you get it too, so don't be that person. So have a conversation with them, okay? You know, be real, be who you are. And the next thing, which is kind of a C, but I'm slightly cheating here, is uncover, okay? So there's a C there in that. So you need to uncover through the conversation how you might be able to help them, okay? And the next thing is to arrange a call with them. If they do have a need and are interested and they're kind of putting their hands up going, oh, tell me more, then that's your opportunity to get on the phone with them or arrange a meeting, you know, whatever way you tend to work. And then from that call, you have an opportunity to convert them, okay? Now, this is the fastest way. And the thing is that you need, if you do not have enough leads in your business right now, you need to be doing this every day, probably for a few hours. Okay, because the thing is, if you don't have enough client work in, you have got the time. Rather than trying to perfect, you know, your blog posts and create loads of content and do all these things that will actually only get you results in the longer term, you need clients now. So you've got to get those leads in now. And I know that this may, you know, it might not be the best strategy in terms of your preferred strengths. And it could even have some of you going, oh my God, I don't want to be doing that because I'm going to have to face rejection, you know, or I don't like talking to people. But, you know, you're only doing it over social media. So, you know, you're going to have conversations with people at some point. And at least this way, you're only going to be speaking to people who've expressed some kind of interest. Okay, and this is, you know, what you need. This is very powerful for you. So, and the thing is, you know, I was saying about that, you know, lead generation, it's not a goal, it's a process. You know, you are never going to get to, oh, that's it. Don't need to do any more lead generation. Okay, that's all right then. You won't get to that. You have to build this into the way that you are running your day and your week. And when you have enough clients in, you can then look to more medium and longer term methods that might suit your strengths more. But you've got to be balancing it and just making sure you always have enough coming in. And there's so many different ways that you can grow your business. And I'd love to help you to do that in the way that actually works best for you. And of course, you also need to make sure that you are actually charging enough. Okay, so I want to tell you about, I have a new guide that I've just brought out, which is called the #1 surefire strategy to raise your prices without getting client pushback. Because look at it this way, you know, there are many ways to earn £10,000 or dollars, or whatever your currency is. Okay, you can have, you know, 20 clients at, you know, you can have 10 clients, you can have 5 clients, you could have 1 client at £10,000. So, and when you are charging higher prices, you attract better clients and you're able to do better work as well. So I'm going to pop when this is over and it's actually uploaded, I'm going to pop a link so that you can go and get that for yourself. If you have any questions, I have to run now unfortunately, but if you've got any questions, pop them into the comments. I will come back and I will answer those. And I would like to ask you, have you found today's show of value? If you have, then please share this out to your peers. I'm on a mission to help as many creators as I can to be happy, healthy and wealthy. So if you found value in it, please share it out and let them do that too. And I want to hear your comments. So, you know, what have been your successes? What are your challenges? What are your questions? Pop them down below and let me know, and I would love to come and help you with that. And also I can answer things in future shows as well. Okay then, right, I'm here same time every week, so it's 4:30 GMT every Wednesday at 11:30 AM EST. And yeah, have a fantastically wonderful lead generation week ahead of you, and I'll see you same time next week. Bye.